Boom! It is GI Joburg episode 431. I'm Paul, and I'm joined by these lovely gentlemen, Steve and Rob. Say hello, guys.
Hello, guys.
Hey guys, it's here. We here with you. It's 4:31, and you know what it is? It's a Sunday, so that means we're recording a latest episode of GI Joburg.
That's correct. And
in the middle of Yojo June.
Yeah.
Yojo June.
So there's lots of stuff to like cover and get into. Steve, I'm excited about the He-Man movie. I just recently saw it, but I think we're going to save that for the end of the episode, yeah?
Oh yes. You're not the only one, Paul. All three of the Joburg boys have seen it. So we'd like to talk about it because occasionally we have things to say about things other than G.I. Joe. Mm-hmm. But you are here for GI Joburg podcast. So we're going to front load things with the Joe stuff. And then if you want to stick around, if you like MOTU or if you just don't mind spoilers and you just want to hear us talk more, I mean, why would you, right? We will probably get into pretty heavy spoilers or I don't know. How do you spoil something like that?
Stuff. Yeah.
It's all there.
It's all there.
And I mean, yeah, if you don't want to be spoiled or if you don't care for MOTU, you're welcome to jump off. But yes, we are going to talk about the Yojo June reveal so far. I realize there are 2 more live streams to come.
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know what more they can possibly pull out from their sleeves, other than like the things that have been teased already, like Toxo Viper, etc. We do know that there will be no HasLab this year. That much has been made abundantly clear. BMAC has taken to social media and posted about it and said, like, guys, we won't address this on the live streams, but I'm just putting it out there at the start of June. No HasLab. Sorry.
That's kind of crazy.
So maybe that's a good point of departure, guys. What do you feel about that? What's your gut response?
I think it's actually quite responsible because there's been a lot of stuff that's been happening this year, and I know that toys and all those cool things that we do either serve as a distraction or as a way to just make life a bit better. But the reality is that there's some like bad stuff going on in the world. It's causing a lot of issues with logistics and messing with people's livelihoods because of finances and things like that. And to then drop a huge HasLab bomb on everybody on top of all of these releases, I think that's just asking for a bit much. And for a business, I don't think it's a smart idea to do something like that. So I think it's quite a responsible choice, if I may say. And maybe that also gives them a chance to come up with something wild and wonderful for next year. That's my thinking. Where do you guys jump in on this?
Okay, so you're hoping that they're kind of saving up for a really big one next year. They just want people to keep up with the current releases and save up for something absolutely ginormous next year, the biggest possible HasLab ever. But I suppose, I mean, it's kind of understandable. I mean, if you had been looking at the numbers for the classified Hasbro stuff, they have kind of been going down over time. Also, even just their goals to hit these things have gone down. Like to actually produce the things. So the goal to produce them, they want to make them, but they don't have confidence that these things are going to sell gangbusters anymore. So I think they have been kind of reading the room, kind of like you said, that people do have other things to spend money on. And I suppose also that shows some sort of confidence in the stuff that they're releasing as a retail thing, that they kind of think that is, they will make their money off of that. And that's enough. Like, we're producing strong products that are going into stores, and we don't have to supplement that with a Kickstarter, basically, for something ginormous. And also some of the offerings that have come out, I think that we will be talking about. I mean, there are vehicles and stuff. So it's not like there aren't more vehicles.
Yeah, it's not like...
Yes, repaints and stuff, but still, there are vehicles that are diversifying the number of vehicles that Classified has. So, yeah, I think it's maybe not a bad thing. It's probably a good thing. Let's yeah.
Oh, so
you're right, Rob. I mean, the sales for the Snowcat were softer than previous HasLabs. I suppose it's to be expected. The Snowcat isn't isn't it sort of it's not a Rattler and it's not a his tank.
Yeah.
Like it's slightly less iconic, more niche. Would it have been better for them to do like a Thunder Machine? Well, the problem there is, like, Lenny was kind of popping in and out of his opinion as to whether or not that was feasible as a HasLab or for something that could be a direct or made to order kind of situation. So there wasn't clarity there. But then, Lenny and Tony both decided to resign from Hasbro.
Whoops.
So maybe that had something to do with it. That they were so instrumental to the planning of whatever HasLab was in the pipeline, that with them gone, there's this kind of power vacuum and they need time. I mean, things like a crowdfunder needs lead time for planning. They can't go in half-cocked. Like, things have to be finalized before they bring it to the public and say, hey guys, get excited, fund this project, please. So maybe we're finally dealing with the effects of their departure, because I'm sure a lot of these forthcoming releases are stuff that they designed years ago. And we're still going to continue to see their work for a good while to come. But when it comes to the HasLab, maybe they were just a little bit too instrumental in the way that machine worked. That's my speculation. But let's get on to sunnier pastures, boys.
Ooh.
Let's talk about the reveals themselves. And I've done the laziest bit of image gathering, because I just tapped my old buddy, Chris McLeod from Full Force, who has shared very, very diligently everything from the photography to the package shots to like hands in the photo shots that he got during the live streams, beautifully cropped and ready for your peepers. So if you are watching the YouTube version, you're welcome. You can thank Chris. And if you're listening to the podcast, feel free to check out Full Force Podcast on YouTube. Yeah, he is on YouTube. But if you want images to accompany this podcast, just head out to the Facebook group or the Instagram. He's shared the images there. So without further ado, shall we start with Deep Six?
Whoa. Finally, an articulated Deep Six in his outfit, his deep dive suit.
Whew. Yeah. This boy.
Okay.
Yeah, I am just really like happy that they've finally done this. I'm not like I'll be honest and straight with everybody. I'm not like run out to the stores and buy one now, but I think it's great that they've finally kind of gotten around to him, because there's some coolness going on with this toy. Like, I love the sort of like the suit and all that is, I think, quite well put together. Sorry, I'm jumping from point to point here, but let me start with just saying I think it's really great that we got him. What took them so damn long, and I'm sure there's many fans out there, many guys out there who are very excited about this, because Hasbro has had a few attempts in the past, or a few opportunities in the past to release this, and they haven't. They decided to stick with the originals format, only popping in a better, a differently sculpted head. I don't want to necessarily say better or worse, but yeah. So here we finally have it. And
But you're referring to the 25th anniversary version. It
yeah,
came with shark tooth.
Yes, which is, I mean, essentially the same thing that they did in the 80s with a different head.
Oh, they added articulation to his elbows.
Wow.
I take your point, man. What a ridiculous situation. They couldn't, like, it's just as much of a brick practically as the 1984 version. That was stupid. I can't believe it. I had that figure and I was like, wow, okay, we're still stuck with this nonsense. But I'm going to say the problem I have with this Deep Six, and this is, take it or leave it, take it with a pinch of salt. I'm not a classified collector, but anatomically, this figure doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's the classic guy in a big suit. Where are his arms? How do his elbow joints function within? Because, the suit's obviously got much longer limbs than than Deep Six, the character, has.
Yeah.
So are his hands terminating at where the suit's like elbow joints are?
That would be my assumption.
And then where are his kneecaps? It's the same problem we have with, like, on a smaller scale, the GI Joe Armor Tech guys from 1993. Like, the suits make them have a taller stature, but inside the suits, you're still led to believe that there's a human being. They haven't kind of disembodied their heads, stuck them on these suits, and like called it good.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing that.
Well, unless the inclusion with this one of that little kind of like weird dead head is kind of a suggestion of how this process goes down. They do actually remove someone's head, and that's the time when it didn't work out so good.
Oh boy.
Rob.
Well, there's a lovely photo shoot that they've done with this figure, and they have utilized the dead head. Oh boy, I was singing Chris's praises about how he very studiously like has every photograph, but that's the one that's missing. Damn it. I mean, there is literally a shot.
Yeah.
A shot that that has his sort of body lying at the bottom of this tank or whatever they used to shoot this, and it has the dead head inside the mask.
Yeah, it's quite terrifying, and it's also something that I thought was rad of them to add to the toy, because we didn't get like
it's totally going in the
grinning
fish tank, man.
Yeah. So
That's your
on
Deep
this
Six display.
on this dude's armor, because we're looking at this cool image of him on one of the promotional images of him underwater, but with regards to his armor or his diving suit, that's better to say. I think suspension of disbelief is important when it comes to toys, because not just toys, but some character design stuff like suits.
Yes.
Definitely. But I do want to stress this though. There is, and I see this a lot, but there is too much need for human proportions when armored suits like this are made, which is often the mistake I find some toy designers, or no, I don't want to necessarily just put it on toy designers, but it's often the mistake I see a lot of conceptual artists make, because if you look at like Japanese stuff and you look at things like for example the old Starship Troopers mech designs that the Japanese did based on those power suits, while they do have like long legs and things like that, they do have a strange arm design, which implies that a human being can actually fit in there properly. And other artists like Shiro Masamune, with the Landmates, with their suits, things like an Appleseed, he's always found a smart way, because it's got the extra arms. It's a smart way of believing that there's a human being in that suit, and so the proportions are designed around that. So I think this is one of those, maybe the toy designers had to wrestle with, do we want it to feel like a human being is in a big suit, and have these like humanoid proportions, or did we want it to feel like he is inside something that's a bit more armored? And should we risk redesigning that at the risk of maybe disappointing Joe fans? So it's kind of I think it's a very difficult kind of thing to do. I said mistake
I don't know,
earlier,
Paul.
but
They just wanted to sell it at a higher price point. That's all.
they made it
That's
bigger.
the cynic in me. Like,
yeah,
you've got to make it bigger, because they're not going to give it more accessories than an average classified figure. But the larger size does incur a penalty, a price penalty.
I think
I don't know what the retail is, but it's more.
that. They disregarded it. They didn't worry about like whether the dude actually fitted in there or not. I think the only scaling they did was to make sure the head at least looked a little bit smaller in comparison to the rest of the body.
Yeah.
I think they just completely sidestepped it. They're like, let's update the design of the original suit and make it look cool.
And lean harder to
let
suspension
people. Don't even worry about that. Don't even think about it. Just do something cool. And it is cool. I think this is a wonderful like kind of update of his original suit. You can really feel the original design in what they've done here. It looks awesome.
Steve's zooming in on the dead head promo shot, so it's got Deep Six kind of there, like the air supply has been removed. He's like choking in his suit. This is like nightmarish and really cool that they did it. That
It's
Hasbro
cool
did
that
it.
they did it, but why did they do it? What is the impetus to include this head? I mean, is it meant to just represent a dead Deep Six? What is the why?
Pardon me.
Why indeed? Alternate heads. It's a whole new world, my boys. Alternate heads and hands. These were things that we didn't have in our much simpler times. But now you have these options, and the leftover parts just find their way into a drawer for the rest of their existence.
A fun thing that I just wanted to mention this as a side before we move on to the next toy. A fun thing about the removable heads on classified figures, and the diving suit actually being something that's really interesting, is that you can now put other GI Joe's heads on this in this figure. So you can. I mean, it's limited. Obviously, characters like with ponytails and things. Looking at Scarlet, we might have trouble there, but you could put old Shipwreck's head on in there, and it will kind of make sense. Even though it's got the brown. I mean, there are some small limitations, but if somebody wanted to get like 3 or 4 and customize them as like a Deep Six GI Joe team.
Well, you could certainly use those green shirt type guys that they make. I mean, they have heads. I mean, when they kind of do the different ethnicity kind of green shirts.
Yes.
I mean, those guys, their heads are completely anonymous. They're not affected by whatever their outfit is. So you can literally just pop it into something else.
Exactly.
So you can army build a whole team of deep sea divers.
And Steve, you mentioned it earlier, the sort of armored Star Brigade armorines or whatever they call again. I can't remember them for the life of me now. The name.
Starts with this figure.
Yeah, I feel like you could do some cool customs. There are definitely some guys out there who I think are going to make some customs of those Star Brigade dudes in this size, because it's.
Are you Buzz Lightyear? I love your movie. Good times.
Or
he comes weaponized. He does have a harpoon. That's fun.
Jormungandr. Yeah.
That is actually kind of, and it's an appropriate weapon. He's not coming in with like a laser pistol or something to use underwater.
Actually, it's got a weapon.
He's got to catch that whale.
Jormungandr. Isn't that that's the world snake? It's the one that, I mean, not the world snake. Yeah, it eats the world. Norse mythology. Yeah.
Yes.
Or Norse.
All right, just so that we can, I suppose, collectively weep with everyone who missed out on this pre-order, let's go to the King Snake himself.
Oh,
masked,
okay.
Hooded Cobra Commander. I know I just redundantly said masked, hooded, but executioner mask. The
That's
hood.
okay.
Hooded Cobra Commander.
Chai Tea Balban. I see it all the time. So masked hooded commander is fine.
Non-bread.
Non-bread.
Boys, is that hood glorious or what?
Yes. It is. It is so reminiscent of the Sideshow release of the second version of Cobra Commander that Sideshow did. I'm very impressed with this.
They've achieved such a terrific scowl. The hood itself looks like a thicker fabric. It's something that's so tricky to get right in sculpture. And I'm not a sculptor at all, of course. But like just comparing this to other attempts at getting that hood right, I mean, it never looked great in the vintage action figure line.
So it's good enough.
This is
no, this has got character.
This is right.
Yes.
Yeah, it feels realistic. It feels like it actually is a hood over his head. There's a wonderful separation between the exposed flesh and the hood itself. It's fantastic. I mean, I've always preferred hooded Cobra Commander versus masked. And yeah, if I had to get one, I don't know, Joe from all this line, it probably would have been this guy if I could have gotten him. It's fantastic.
I had not realized that piping, that sort of rope from his pauldron, like actually links up to his tunic. It's plugged in. That's nice.
That is a nice detail.
Wow. The details on this are off the charts, but I guess you're supposed to expect that for like a premiere piece like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get onto the throne. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, the
Paul,
real
someone was
prize.
listening to you, my man. Your
Yes,
prayers were
and
answered.
thank you.
You've been banging on about giving us a throne for Cobra Commander for some time now, and yes, somebody listened.
Finally. It's like Hooded Cobra Commander. Thank you very much. I'm glad that we got him. It's awesome. Great. But finally, a freaking throne. Like this. Like
he's not the
and
kind of
it's
guy
glorious.
who stands around. He's got a seat.
And it's really cool how they put this all together. It's regal, it's sinister, it's well sculpted. I think this is actually the huge catch piece. I think a lot of guys are very excited to see the Hooded Cobra Commander, and they're like, "Oh my god, there's a Hooded Cobra Commander figure!" Because there's tons of people who are very upset about Hasbro potentially never doing a Hooded Cobra Commander again because it was
I was
problematic. And yeah, Rob was one of them. I was on the fence. I can't remember Steve's response to that, but I think deep inside many people's hearts, I think they're just really happy they're getting a throne. Like, I think this toy without the throne may not have had as much impact. I don't think it would have it generated as much fervor had it been throneless.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, we've had like 2 or 3 versions of Cobra Commander already, haven't we? We had like normal version, and we've had kind of like a stand-up parade version.
Yes,
I think. So this is like a variation on the parade version, essentially, kind of like a more done-up version. So I think it is the throne that kind of finishes this.
Yep. And they right now we're looking at Cobra Commander sitting on the throne with his crown, heavy as the head that wears the crown. This is the only thing that bugs me about this, but the cool thing is that it's an accessory. I don't like the Cobra crown.
We associate headgear with like mind control devices, thanks to Sunbow. Like it looks like something that's like basically robbing him of his autonomy. Like, I am now the commander.
And yeah, there's a bit of that vibe, but I also just think it looks goofy. Like I just it's the same way I'll mention it a little bit later on this podcast, but just a crown on a hood like that just seems so strange to me. Also, I get the sexiness of this profile shot in that, having Cobra Commander on his throne looking, kind of, I don't want to say bored, but he is leaning on his fist. He's got his scepter in hand. And it makes a classic image, but it's very much cribbed from Conan, from King Conan. And the whole purpose of King Conan looking like that on his throne is that being a king is boring for Conan. He's not that person. Whereas for Cobra Commander, I feel he relishes being on a throne, much like how Starscream would. And so I feel like he wouldn't be leaning on his fist like that for a promotional pose. It's just like it's a stupid, like, who gives a shit thing, but I gave a shit enough about it.
You really are overthinking this. I mean, I think why he's like that is because, I mean, the shot has him in the corner of a room. They kind of like shoved his throne into the corner of a room.
And he's upset.
And he's kind of like, come on, guys, I should be in the center of the room.
I'm surrounded by
I have no one to shoot.
It's not fair, but it's not fair to like put this on Hasbro because I think they've done a lot with this offering. But I do hope that we get the chess set at some point. I think it'll be quite nice to have
like a little classified scale chess set.
Yeah, the Cobra Commander.
But that's Destro's accessory.
Yes, that's why.
Cobra Commander. I tell you what, Cobra Commander needs. This conversation has just reminded me. Cobra Commander needs like pop-up wooden targets.
Yes, thank you.
And like a commander, you're grouping your shots too tightly. Try to get more spread across the center mass.
Yeah, there you go. Nice Baroness, dude. Wow, that came out of nowhere.
That was really good.
And that cape, we're looking at Cobra Commander looking out the window there. We're looking at Cobra Commander looking out the window at Destro. or whatever it is. And
Hmm.
yeah, wow, this cape is something else, man. Look at that patterning, that texturing on it. It's really, really cool. Well, you can look at it again when the a picture pops up. But wow, amazing stuff. Like really incredible. And do you guys think that's meant to be the silent castle?
I'm back, in case you're
He's
wondering.
back. Yeah, I was just wondering if that's a silent castle.
Why would it be the silent castle though? I feel like was he kind of like slumming it in the silent castle? Maybe that's why he's in the corner.
That's why he's unhappy. And we love his cape. So I'm
good.
going on about that cape
it's
again.
textured. I mean, it's textured like snakeskin
I get
on the
huge
outside.
vibes of Dave Gahan in Enjoy the Silence. Depeche Mode.
Yes.
That's a great
Do
reference.
do 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 you know, etc. Basically, he's walking around in like regal king garb.
You've given me a great
It's a very
idea.
melancholy
It's
kind of
kind
video.
of like in the middle of a battle. All the forces are off doing something, and he's kind of like left alone, kind of like waiting for them to return. And he's kind of like, "Oh, I hope they win this day for me."
It's more like enjoy the sibilance.
Or he's Macbeth and he's awaiting his showdown with Macduff. Like, I don't know. Something very Shakespearean about seeing Cobra Commander this regal.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anyway,
Well,
Cool
guys,
toy.
you don't need to salivate anymore. Don't worry. There's no chance of you getting this figure.
I think I did read something about this figure though. They're doing them in batches. So
Yes.
they're doing a first batch, and everybody who jumps on, like, cool for you. And then they're doing another one a little bit later, not too much later. And I got a feeling that because these have already done so well with the first production run, I don't want to like assume too much here, but I think we might even see a third production run if the second production run isn't big enough as a catch-all. And I still think we're gonna get this figure without the throne going forward.
oh, probably.
Oh yeah, retro
as
card.
retro card. Yeah. So if for
But
people
yes,
who
I
don't
mean,
want the crown, I mean the throne.
BMAC on the live stream, the first live stream when they revealed this, and I think the pre-order went up shortly after thereafter. He said that don't worry, guys, if it sells out on the first go, we have made plenty. So hang in there, everyone will get this. So yes, I'm just gloom and doom because it's easy and fun. But I have confidence that everyone who wants one of these figures will be able to get one retail wise. Come on.
Yes.
They can't underestimate this kind of demand.
No.
This is the big one.
Yeah, that's what happens when you hold.
Where do you
want to
go next, boys?
Cobra Commander, like everyone wants it. I don't know what else. What else came out? I suppose
We got some fun images of Shebang and Scarlet's. I don't know if that's reveals any new kind of aspects of the figures, like to see them like physically photographed as opposed to just the render reveals.
I love to see her mask on her, so that's cool. And seeing them like this photographed does give me a much better sense of like how great they're gonna be. And thankfully she lives up to my mental expectation, and Shebang kind of exceeds that a little bit for me at least.
yeah,
Mm.
the renders. I mean, yeah, kind of showed off exactly what we were going to get. Thankfully,
Yeah.
and
tiger-
they look fantastic.
One of my biggest reasons for loving Shebang so much is because of his tiger coloring or his tiger motif. Because I've always, this is linked to Kung Fu for me. This is also linked to Tiger Force for me. And so I do like how that's been represented here in the toy form, but also that he's got the tiger mask. It's something I sort of may have neglected to mention earlier, but
Yeah,
it is something I'm happy that they've lent into. Or leaned into, should I say, is his tiger mask. Don't know if I'm going to have him rocking that all the time. I kind of think his current look is adequate enough. But Scarlet having the Oni mask is very cool. Big
It's a
fan of
nice detail, and it's something they obviously have been doing with all of the ninja characters.
that.
I think is kind of including different masks with them, so you kind of have a whole masked ninja force. Okay, so it sounds like this is something that you've budgeted for and you want to get.
Oh, this is something I want. I keep fearing that it's some kind of exclusive, Target exclusive or something. That's what keeps worrying me about it. But I am very much it's on my shopping list.
Cool.
Yeah.
Definitely worth getting. I mean, the
And slice and
gorgeous
dice.
figures. I mean, and the Scarlet is just fantastic.
Yeah, Jabang's got a cool face, man. Like they really did him well. I think he looks great.
Yeah, he has personality.
Did they give him a pencil mustache?
They did give him a bit of that, like, vibe.
Well, now I'm getting luchador vibes from him.
I've
Hey?
always
Or,
kind of gotten that.
You know who?
Yeah.
If you colored his mask red, he would be the tarantula. You know, the
Yes.
sort of
Ah,
C tier Spider-Man villain.
yes.
And he is close enough to being
Awesome.
Iron Fist as well, in some respects. So.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, the yellow, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. There's all that good stuff in old shebang. Honestly, these figures have never looked better. Maybe that is obviously the function of classified, to present like idealized versions of things that we got decades ago. But yeah, I guess Scarlet was always a low-hanging fruit, and shebang was more of a acquired taste. But like these are the ways of like presenting them at their ultimate, their peak Ninja Force energy.
And cool that they packaged together. I think this was a clever plan for those people who don't care about Scarlet and really want Shebang. So all 5 of you, now you get a Scarlet as a
Well,
bonus.
come on, Paul. I feel like it's the other way around. You know,
Really, I think
no one
everybody
gives
was.
I think most people don't give a shit about Shebang. They all want
Exactly.
Scarlet.
Exactly. That's why I said the 5 people out there who want Shebang more than Scarlet. Well, now they've got a Scarlet figure, and for the potentially hundreds of thousands of people, wouldn't that be nice? But the hundreds of thousands of you out there who want Scarlet, you get Shebang with you, and you'll just be like, wow,
I mean,
he's the best accessory ever.
I've said it before. This is just their way of being able to get these figures into the
Yes,
line without,
totally.
because no one would buy them on their own.
Yeah,
So that's why they do it like this, and it makes it easier for them to sell it at a higher price point.
yeah, exactly the point I was making. I agree with you fully there. I think these figures work much better as 2-packs, all the Ninja Force stuff, except for Snake Eyes when they release him, because he'll be able to sell very fine by himself. I'm pretty sure.
Of course, yeah. Snake Eyes goes on his own Storm Shadow, but all the rest kind of have to be paired in some way with someone that's a little bit more popular to bring them out.
Snake Eyes is like, you get away from my girl, Shebang. Well, neither of them speak, actually.
Yeah,
it's true.
Canonically, Shebang has he's got a vow of silence.
Wow, silence, like
but
tigers.
He's been locked up in that plastic prison with Snake Eyes' girl for a couple of months now.
Girls and guys can just be friends.
Just be friends, right?
That's a
but at least like if anything does go down, Scarlet can count on Shebang saying nothing. All right, guys, I'm dying to talk about this because this is something that I feel like a lot of YouTube channels routinely get wrong or misrepresent or don't fully understand the history of. It's Action Man.
Yes.
In GI Joe.
Yes.
Right. So, in the 90s, Action Man,
who am I?
The answer to 12-inch GI Joe in the UK, got a revamp and became this like wall of orange boxes. Most of them were 12-inch Action Man dolls with a variety of like extreme sporting gear style, like mission equipment.
Yes.
You had Action Mans with rollerblades, with hang gliders, with jeeps, with skis, with snowboards, with jetpacks, with working parachutes. So
and there's a hang glider one as well, wasn't there?
Totes everything, dude.
Everything.
I remember distinctly, like this was 12-inch, so it stepped outside of my collecting, and I was a little bit older and didn't want dolls of that size. I wanted GI Joe because it came with cool vehicles, Like this was the wrong direction. But even I coveted an Action Man doll, and do you know which one it was? Well, I'll tell you. It was a super deluxe presentation of Action Man as an astronaut, designed to celebrate the coming of the year 2000. It had a functioning digital clock, a countdown timer built into the astronaut sort of pack, like on his front. So these Action Man astronaut figures were all counting down to the millennium. Oh
Wow.
boy. Did everything crash? No, it did not. But I can assure you those batteries are all dead by now.
But Stephen,
Oh
who
man.
am I?
Dude.
The cartoon.
And this
I
got
love
me
the
thinking
cartoon.
this got me thinking about GI Joe Extreme.
Yeah.
Because it came out around the same time as the Action Man cartoon, and also featured live action sequences.
Mm.
Do you remember the live action sequences? They had a cast
Yes. Yeah.
of actors and stunt people doing the kind of the Action Man like stunt show to kick off every new episode.
It
This
was
was
cool.
great. It was peak 90s kids television.
It was
So
also
rad.
stupidly cheesy in a lot of ways. I got to put that out there.
Oh,
'cause,
you know it.
yeah, like I don't want to, ignore the cheesy Action Man elephant in the room. But
It was James Bond meets Triple X. So there was the kind of the extreme sportsman like adventure side to Action Man, but he was absolutely British and
yes.
had the manly sort of GI Joe scar on his face, but he was somewhere in the middle there. And this is an expression of that.
Yep.
It's not an expression of the 12-inch, dusty old toys from the 60s and 70s. No. This is
No.
90s Action Man.
Yeah, because
yeah.
I
A
mean,
figure that has a tangential link to G.I. Joe anyway, because there was an O-ring version of Action Man in the sort of the Toys R Us 6-pack era. What was he? Was he in the Tiger Force pack? Something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that.
The man he's also the man from Auntie. Rob, you're the person I want to hear from first on this. Like, just where do you come from with the Action Man stuff? Like, are you into this dude at all? Did you?
I don't really remember much about Action Man. I remember seeing the toys on the shelves, but I don't remember watching the cartoon.
Mhm.
I guess I must have. I suppose it's just very forgettable. But once you have GI Joe, I mean, like, what do you need another guy who's trying to be like GI Joe? And yeah, this is definitely a thing from the 90s. I don't see how you could possibly confuse this for something from 3 decades before, because like the color combo of black and orange is a very 90s thing. That kind of like very clashing bright colors that come together. It's kind of like pairing like neon green with like neon yellow, like that's like a huge 90s thing. But it's a cool toy. It's a cool representation of who Action Man was. And also an interesting thing with the scar on his face, I mean, which is always like an Action Man thing. The latest James Bond game, First Light, actually has James Bond having a scar on his
Oh.
right cheek as well.
Mm.
And I was like, that's not an established James Bond thing. So
No.
where did they draw that from? Like, why does their version of James Bond have that? And it almost feels like a nod back to Action Man in a way. Kind of like drawing those two characters more closely together.
Dude, I would not be surprised if that's somebody in the studio who did that because of a connection to Action Man, or
Yeah.
if maybe through market research they
No,
decided maybe
especially
that's a
if you
good
look
idea.
at the head sculpt of this figure and you compare it to the actor, I mean, or the model of the
Bond
actor
for
who
First Light.
plays.
Yeah.
It's very close. It's almost 1-to-1.
So for me, for Action Man, okay, so the first time I actually encountered Action Man was the 12-inch GI Joes that were released. The Cobra Commander, Snake Eyes, and Duke. Duke, and there's also Stalker. So one of my neighbors, actually, they're British, and he got an Action Man from the UK, and it was Duke. In that it was the GI Joe packaging, as we know, but it was actually like done as like Action Man, like a whole tie-in thing. And I just remember being like, "Oh my god, I really want this Duke figure." In fact, if anything, that's actually what created my fascination with 12-inch figures to begin with, which is probably why I like the sideshow stuff as much as I do, because that Duke was really amazing, especially for the era that it was released in, and for me, who had never really had much encounter with that kind of figure, other than friends of mine, sisters, Barbies, and things like that. But anyway, I digress. Action Man, like Rob, you were just mentioning now, it's like, we had GI Joe, so why did we need anything else? And I think that was my reason why I enjoyed Action Man so much, because it was very much filling in the blank on TV for me and for Dave, actually, although Dave may not admit it so much, but he watched every episode with me at my house, so he must have enjoyed it. But it filled in the blank. It was definitely like a GI Joe by proxy in a lot of ways for me. And that was great because I really enjoyed the character and I enjoyed the show. But like you guys, funny for me to say that I got a bit of a fascination with 12-inch figures. I never touched these toys. And I think it was something about them being very, like, I wanted smaller, more articulated figures because I'd gotten used to and been spoiled by GI Joe. But I think it was also, I was just in that awkward teenager phase with this kind of stuff where it was like, I don't know if I want a doll. Kind of, that's how it was in my framed in my brain. I was like, wow, this really speaks to the kid side of me in a big way, but it also didn't. And I also want to use this opportunity to mention that Action Man was pretty big here, actually. Actually.
Dude.
Yeah.
Massive.
A lot of kids, I mean, these things sold. People, they weren't just sitting there warming pigs. They sold, they moved. Kids were into this stuff, and I think it was the same in the UK. And I just got to say, really cool of Hasbro's design team and for them to release this guy as a character in classified GI Joe. What a cool nod to the UK GI Joe fans or the European Joe fans, because I think Action Man is not. I think it is very much a European, mostly UK kind of thing. And I know a lot of the local fans here on the one GI Joe group I'm on, they're quite excited to see Action Man, and it surprised me. So anyway, I hogged this mic for long enough about Action Man. So I think
certainly
this is cool.
have, absolutely. Yeah. But I mean, it's the best representation in the GI Joe line. I was just looking back at the other two versions. The second version looks absolutely awesome on the 25th anniversary, and the original just kind of looks like a knockoff. It's almost like a Tiger Force character. And it doesn't.
It's Tracker.
Yeah, it's basically Tracker. Yeah. And it doesn't feel like him. This feels like Action Man. Like they've kitted him out with everything you could possibly want from an Action Man. The lovely accents on the gloves. There's so much greeblies and details.
But look, let's not overlook the fact that he is a Franken-Joe with no original accessories.
Yeah.
I suppose that's the only way they would put him into the line, really.
This is Alpine / Look, my final word on the subject, and this is just me being wishful thinking all the time, but I'm hoping that, and I started this whole conversation off with the fact that Action Man cartoon and GI Joe Extreme companion pieces for me. I hope this signals we're going to get these GI Joe adjacent characters, because the Extreme roster, like love or hate the cartoon, once we are exhausted with the repressing of original like legacy characters, the classics, like how many Dukes can they do? How many Cobra Commandos can they do? We're on the verge of getting the entire OG-13 in classified.
So with Steve saying that, man, I'm really hopeful. I'm eternally hopeful that we'll get Star Brigade in classified. But I'm talking about the armored dudes.
Like that's what I was saying earlier. Yeah. I felt with the introduction of Deep Six that
we're like one step closer to that.
Yeah,
definitely. I think I'm actually really hoping on the customizing community to kind of pick that up and do that and kind of make their own versions of them to hopefully I say that to communicate to Hasbro, but it does seem like Hasbro is paying attention to fans and to customs and to like podcasts and all that, because we are getting some interesting deep cut accessories. And like one of the other figures that was kind of announced was Shipwreck with what's the name?
Oh, that chick
Dennings,
from the cartoon.
Recruit Dennings,
Yeah.
Cadet Dennings, which we'll have some pictures of soon for. But like that is a great deep cut. That is a nice sort of, that is Hasbro being like leaning into that Super 7 magic, of giving fans things that we didn't expect to have. Have you've seen that, hey Rob? The Cadet Dennings?
Yeah, I did see it. It looks good. And I think also like the possibilities of 90s stuff, more 90s stuff coming is pretty good. I mean, they've definitely, I mean, with the introduction of the Ninja Force, we are seeing a lot more 90s and also like 90s versions of characters, like the blue Snake Eyes, version 4 Snake Eyes. So I think, yeah, the chances of Extreme coming into the classified line, I feel like over time are getting better and better.
Definitely. Although the Cadet Jennings thing for me, or Dennings, Cadet, hold on, let me remix that. Cadet Dennings. Thank you, Rob, for the assist. The biggest appeal for me that there is, aside from Cadet Dennings herself, I'm actually more excited in the accessory that she comes with, or that they come with. And again, I can't stress it more how much I want more of those kind of dio pieces to come out of Hasbro. Officially, because the 3D printing crowd and the custom crowd out there, they're doing some very cool stuff, but just can't stress how much I want to see more of that from Hasbro. Like, we really do need that. That I feel like that's the one thing that's been missing in GI Joe since year dot, actually, since the beginning, is these kind of interactive accessories.
Well,
like
and that's also what they
computers and
push with
models.
the classified line. They do take all these beautiful shots for you to admire the figures. And they have tried. They've included some stuff.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, but then also that will push the price up of individual figures higher. That's the only other thing.
I think. Well, that's the thing. I think where the Cadet Dennings and Shipwreck pack, where that works out nicely for Hasbro, is that tooling exists except for her head sculpt. So, that's a cheaper. When I say it's a cheaper tooling, they can probably bundle her head sculpt in with other tooling, to get that made and produced.
Yeah.
So they probably save a lot of money. So actually, the thing that they're spending a lot of money on is the computer terminal, the prop, which also not all tooling is expensive, but some tooling is less complicated than others, so it means it ends up being a little cheaper. So that thing is also less complicated for them to make as well.
Yeah.
And so,
but I mean, Cadet Dennings hopefully is kind of a sign of the future of including more
Cadet Demings, by the way, gents.
Demings.
Agent Demings. There we go.
Excellent. So
I can't tell you how many times I was screaming at my radio, but unfortunately I had dropped out.
I'm sure many of you who are listening now were screaming at your radio, but here we are. You can have a breath of relief, a sigh of relief. Cool. Yeah, and there they are on
So
the
the
screen
fun
now.
thing about the SDCC releases is you can take them or leave them. They are exclusives, but they're fun. So I can see why people would want them. Also, I can see why people would easily be able to skip over them, because these are deep cut Sunbow cartoon moments and characters, which has a square peg round hole fit with classified, because like classified to date hasn't been leaning into the Sunbow cartooniness of GI Joe too much. There's a kind of classified vibe and a feel, and there's it's a little bit more realistic and a little bit more hardcore, whereas Super 7 is leaning into the smoother pastel world of cell animation. So this is a weird one for some. But it was revealed on the live stream that there are 3 circular apertures at the top of this console. So it is hinted that this is going to form part of, and I'm going to just put words in BMAC's mouth, the mass device.
Yes. Yeah, I can see that.
So this is how you're going to have to go about getting it. I think the elements were the elements included with Snake Eyes and the polar bear. or was it Breaker? I don't know.
Yeah,
Who had the elements?
one of the divers, I think, came with the elements.
Oh boy.
There was
Well,
a
that's
diving.
super random. So if you
Yeah.
happen to be a hardcore fan of Classified, have been collecting all of these, you're going to be the very few rare people who'll be able to build your own mass device in Classified scale.
And if you otherwise, it's eBay. Can you imagine?
It's a reward for someone who's bought every figure from this line.
Yeah, that, and also just I do want to also like mention that Hasbro seems to have learned a little bit from past mistakes, because they did do that whole DVD collection set where you got a DVD and you got, I think it was 2 or 3 figures sometimes, and maybe one of the elements that they re-released. And then what they would do is they would make those figures kind of like animation colored, like so very bright and like sometimes like kind of obscenely colored, which I always thought was kind of a dirty play, because you're essentially buying the worst versions of figures you've already bought just to get the plot elements or the prop elements to make up the mass device and the weather dominator. I'm referring to 25th anniversary for those of you who haven't maybe been in the game long. So at least here, while you are again getting a repaint, essentially Demings is also a repaint. At least there are new characters for your roster, as opposed to just all new characters. It's a repaint of Shipwreck, but at least it's not just Cobra Commander in like a different shade of blue with 2 other things that you are like iffy about to get these prop things. So at least there's that. At least they're giving you better value in terms of the figures for that, and not just like taking us for a ride. So that was cool.
I didn't know Cadet Deming had this kind of little white hat, like a little nurse's hat.
Little nurse hat.
On her head.
It's cute.
You can see
I
that
need to
on the one
rewatch
image.
There's No Place Like Springfield.
Yeah, that's what we all have to do.
Well, they're trying to drive traffic, I guess, also to their YouTube channel, where they are playing repeats of the cartoon.
I like that backdrop, man.
There's even a comment.
Yeah.
Forgive my ignorance, but why does she have a napkin on her head?
Yeah, we saw you. We saw you make that comment, guy.
We saw you. You did it.
Man, these things are gonna flood
Yeah, and
eBay.
it even has Polly
Yeah.
kind of in flight, which is nice, because didn't the original Polly, it was sort of at rest, it was just kind of perched on Shipwreck's forearm.
Yes. I'm gonna say
shoulder.
yes.
Oh no, it's on the rope. The rope has the hole, doesn't it?
There's 2. There's you can have it on his wrist. There's a hole on his wrist for Polly, and then there's a hole on the rope. Yeah, on the.
And
Yeah.
this Polly doesn't have a peg leg. This is not a disabled parking bay Polly.
Does he have the eye beams? I can't remember.
He has no. He's got the little device. The little sort of looks like a micro camera that emits that green beam that like makes all the synthoids melt.
Yes. Wonderful inclusion.
Synthoid sound effect for those listening. And banded Shipwreck head for. So there's lots to get from that set. Anyway, we just jumped onto that. What is next in the excited line?
Oh, we're gonna go with the next SDCC reveal, and that's the Fatal Fluffies. I mean, to hell with the action figure. I just want to scoop up the sleeve that the package comes in, because it's the cereal box. It's amazing. It's the best.
It really is. I am so with you there. My sentiments are exactly the same as
it's also
Steve's.
been revealed that it does come with a standard classified packaging, so you can chuck the sleeve away if you do so wish. But for me, the sleeve is the main prize. I don't know.
I'm with you, Steve. Like for me, the big accessories here is the note, the cute version of the Fatal Fluffy, and the sleeve. I really don't like how they pulled off the Fatal Fluffy. Like I really don't like its face. I don't want to say I don't want to be technical and say, oh, there's something wrong with it that it's done badly. It just, what I do want to say though is it really is ugly for me. I don't like it. Yeah, that's everything else is fine, but that head sculpt, yeesh.
This goes back.
This goes back to.
Oh, you're okay. Sorry, I didn't know if I was coming through. This goes back to my earlier point that like there is a weird disconnect between the classified aesthetic and the Sunbow cartoon aesthetic, and you don't see that more plainly than with something as like fantastical as the Fatal Fluffy. So you're either able to go there, or this is like an easy pass for you. So it's, you know, it's a decent enough compromise. But you say that this doesn't gel well with your understanding of classified. I know I've
It's
just put
not
words in
ringing
your
my
mouth,
bell.
Paul, but is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I like everything but the
Mhm.
head sculpt. I can't reconcile that head sculpt for for myself. And because I'm not this big hardcore classified collector, I'm not halfway there already. I think if I was buying every single classified, I would have been halfway to owning this already, you know, and just been like, okay, you know what, accept the head sculpts, you're getting the other stuff.
Well, they made it detailed and like demonic and Sasquatchy or abominable stone. You know, there's a monstrousness to it. Is that not the correct choice?
Yeah, I don't know.
Would
Just
you softened it? Would you
yeah, I
have
would
made
have
it
gone
more
a
cartoony?
I would have gone a different direction. Yeah, I think I would have gone a bit more cartoony. I think maybe I think it's also very possible that I am the outlier here. In that, you know, I'm the dissenting opinion because I seem to it seems that people are very excited about this and like how he's been represented. But so yeah, I don't
I
know.
think people are split down the middle. What the reactions that I've been seeing are like, yes, I need 10 of these, or
Wow.
easy pass. Thanks for making me not have to get an SDCC exclusive.
Okay, so
So
you're
it's done both, which is great. Smart. Because the best thing about exclusives is making them in such a way as they don't leave your collection incomplete if you don't
yes,
have them.
yeah. No, that's true. That's true. But
Best approach. Good.
they gave us one thing that that Super 7 didn't, and it is something I remarked on, but I do like the cute versions of them. And I say I do like them. I think Classified executed them quite well. They are a very creepy or weird looking thing in the first place, but I think the Classified achieved the look. I think they nailed it for this, which is weird. But I kind of wish Super 7 had given us them as well. You know, maybe a
That
little
would have
bit.
been really small, though. I mean, those would be really tiny accessories, and they would have been just like little stumps of plastic, completely immovable.
Yeah, but I
don't
still want
know.
them. They could have been a little bit cheekier with them and made them like a little bit bigger. But that would have been a nice inclusion. But yeah, the super, like, also just cool that again that we're getting that kind of stuff in Classified, and I wonder where we're gonna go with that because we've gotten Cold Slither, which was raised to much fanfare, and we've got Cadet Demings,
Wow,
and
so
now we got some. Now we got some fatal fluffies. So
they are dipping their toes into the cartoon stuff.
oh yes, big time.
You know, they are there. They are kind of trying to see what people think about that whole thing.
I'm sure you will enjoy these fatal fluffies. Signed, the Cobra Commander.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Sincerely,
yeah,
yours.
sincerely. But yeah, I think it's so cool that they did that,
It's
man.
misspelled.
Mm-hmm.
This reminds me because there's a scripting and art inconsistency in Weather Dominate. Oh no, what was this one? Pyramid of Darkness. Because the voice actor who's voicing Scarlet says something completely different to what is, you know, on screen. Like the note says something else. So maybe this is a third version. I don't know. I haven't compared them.
Hmm. Well, that's
But
so.
yes, the typo is lovely. Sincerely yours?
Sincerely. Yeah.
Cute. Very animation accurate, I guess, to make a mistake like that.
And how cool is like cool that people are. Like, cool that the market research pointed that this could exist. So that was nice. It means that the fan base is quite excited about this as well. Guys in the comments, Let us know so far. What have been your favorites? What are your most anticipated? Did you manage to get yourself a Cobra Commander? Let us know. I'm curious to see.
Yeah, let Paul know
Let me know in the comments. Yeah.
personally.
What
Are you a
else is
bot
popping
or
up here?
scalper? Ooh, yeah. So they did a size comparison.
Jeez, he's huge.
Okay.
And by he, I mean the Fatal
The
Fluffy
Fatal
is huge.
Fluffy is it's a big boy.
That's even bigger, like the scaling of it compared to a normal human figure than the classified. I mean, Super 7 one actually.
Yeah. Although the Super 7 one was quite big, so as well.
Yeah, for sure, quite big. But I mean, he's about as big as what the other guy, isn't he? Ramar or whatever.
Yeah, they're more or less the same size.
Comparable in
Yeah.
scale. Yeah. But this one is definitely absolutely ginormous.
Okay. I want to talk about Dusty.
Dusty, they did a Dusty? Crazy.
They did a Dusty. But which Dusty did they do?
They've only shown the render reveal, but Dusty version 2, or 3 if you counted Tiger Force, with Sandstorm, the coyote.
Coyote.
So, Paul, do you have classified Dusty?
Wow, it's bad when you don't remember. That's how long they've been in a box for.
Suspense, guys. He might or might not have. Schrodinger's Dusty.
Schrodinger's Dusty.
The opinion on that figure is not great.
I feel like
People are saying it's kind of in the bottom 5.
Wow.
That the classified has ever produced. Yeah.
Whew.
So this is an opportunity at retribution, and I guess there's enough in here to give him that. Like, Dusty version 2, or 90s Dusty, will forever be very inferior to 85.
Yeah, that version is
like, that's just
terrible.
My perceptions can never be shifted on that. Like, even like, I just don't want to play with 90s Dusty because 80s Dusty is so much better.
He's just
But
perfect,
here we've seen things flip. This is classified doing 90s Dusty through the lens of Pursuit of Cobra Dusty. Because why? Because he comes with a beret, but he comes with the chamois, that sort of neck kerchief, I don't know, scarf, neck up. And then he comes with that neo-apocalyptic black goggle, or not, the goggles are tan, but the sort of mask is black. Like, that is channeling the Pursuit of Cobra version, right?
Yeah, very much so.
I wonder if the lens is see-through. Will you be able to see the character's eyes through that? Because that will further tie it into the Pursuit of Cobra Dusty.
I feel like that the transparency for it is actually a legit thing. I think we've seen it before in others.
Yeah, they have used that. Yeah, but it's kind of like a shiny transparency. At least from the render, it does look like, because that they're kind of like shiny glasses that people wear.
Yeah,
and they want to look real fancy. This is a great. Yeah, this actually redeems the original figure.
What do you mean redeems? How are you guys hating D2 so much, or Dusty 2?
It's just terrible. It has no personality.
I love
it feels
that
like
figure.
such
I think it's got lots of personality.
It feels like such a generic.
Yeah, but the tan is too light.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay,
being out in the desert with your exposed shoulders makes zero sense.
It's kind of
That's
like a wild look.
Sunburn
all three of us have this figure now, yes?
Yes.
Version 2.
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, we have to talk about this guy on the figure focus. We got to one day talk about.
Wow, we can actually finally talk about something that we don't like.
Well, you guys can. I feel like I need to speak him up.
Okay, you wanna stand up for that the little rant?
Look, we can get onto 90s Dusty when we get onto it. It definitely is ripe for figure focus. But yeah, just a total downgrade for me, I'm afraid. Youch. I can't get past having your shoulders exposed in the desert. I don't care if it's the 90s. You can't do that.
It's certainly a choice, and what's a real big choice here is his coyote. The 3D render looks, the way they've posed it, it's awful. He's kind of just like standing there, and he's got very wide-legged stance, and he's just kind of like staring straight ahead.
It's freaking my
this is the
brain out.
disservice that 3D renders will always do, because they have to make it this very clinical front on. It's not a flattering shot for any kind of four-legged animal.
Yeah, but I feel like they've done it better with.
But what
other
do you do
ones.
then?
They've kind of rendered like timber and the other ones from the side view. I feel like they've done that before.
No, it's also been. I'm pretty sure it's been down the snout.
Well,
Because
his
otherwise you
down the
wouldn't
snout
get
view
the
is very
character. They
understandable.
want the portrait to be. You want to see the animal's face,
Yeah.
not its back.
Yeah, but you can do
Its
that
tail, its
because
line.
it comes with two heads. So you have the front one of the alt head, and then you have the
Boy
front,
face.
the side view
I'm
of the
gonna tear
entire
your
body. So at
face
least you get a
off,
better
face.
understanding of the potential of articulation for this thing, because this does not sound sandy at all to me.
Yeah, it's the Jean-Claude Van Damme of Dusty figures, but it is nice that the classified version of him is better than his first incarnation. And just to confirm, yeah, I don't have the original Dusty.
Oh, it
Steve
came
asked
back to
earlier,
you.
the classified.
Okay. No
Yeah.
original classified Dusty.
No, I don't. That's why I had to like really think about it, because I don't recall having the classified. I have the sideshow version, and I've got one or two.
So you
modern
felt
eras.
the winds where they were blowing on that figure. You knew it was awful.
It just didn't jump out at me. It didn't feel dusty enough for me. I think that's why I didn't get it.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm gonna confirm
Well,
now.
by all accounts, you dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, good old Dusty. So, yeah, I don't know where else to jump in with him. Like, other than, is there a vehicle or something associated with him? I remember seeing there was a promotional image of him in a vehicle.
Well, it is timed
no
well,
idea.
I guess, with the return of the vamp. In case you missed it,
there might be. I mean,
in green. Now
and
you
black.
can get it in tan. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But no All Striker.
What do you mean no All Striker?
Oh my god, there is a classified All Striker, yeah?
Yeah, people don't like it, but it exists. I've seen it with my own eyes in Singapore.
They should have done a Desert Fox.
Yes.
To go
so
with
the scuttlebutt on the live streams is that they are going to re-release the green vamp. So hold out for that. I don't know what format that'll take. Maybe a retro re-release somehow. Are they going to do the sort of these smaller scale classified vehicles over again with like a retro inspired box? Maybe. But in case you needed your vamp fix and you can't wait that long, yeah, Vamp Mark II coming soon.
Okay.
The missile box should look quite familiar if you are familiar with the HasLab from last year. It, I think, is more or less the same as the Snowcats.
Oh wow,
cool. That vamp is
with the same feature of the blast effects being able to poke out the back or the front. Do it your way.
Well, I think it looks cool in brown. And it seems
really
to be
does.
like a shiny brown as well. It's almost like a bronze look to it.
They went and matched it to the original vehicle. So it's not a tan, like Mauler style tan. It is closer to a kind of a, I don't know, caramelly brown. I don't know what Pantone that is, but yeah, that's Mark II coloring for sure.
And then also just for some clarification, Dusty's releasing separately to the vamp, or is he the driver for the
Yes.
No,
With the vamp you're getting Clutch.
Yeah, if you see the image,
you're getting Clutch,
if you're watching the YouTube, recording, you'll see it's clutch.
Yeah. No, that's why I was asking, because when you had the image panned, you had it further away when I was looking at it, and it looked like Dusty because of the exposed arms for a second. And then you sort of panned away from him, so I couldn't really check. And then yeah. But cool. It's Desert Clutch, and we like Desert Clutch. We like Clutch.
Clutch is pretty cool.
He's coming in
comes
Clutch.
with one of those cool helmets as well.
Yes, Clutch's helmet. I knew it well. Cool. Was that all of the? Was that everything?
And guys, we are getting closer to finishing that OG 13.
We are indeed.
Grand Slam and the Hell.
Crap! I totally forgot about that existing. Oh wow, that's really bad.
It's existing, all right.
The Hell itself is cool. I'm talking about like the vintage Hell now. I totally forgot that they announced Grand Slam and the Hell. So
it's certainly a toy. I would like to know if it could be. Well, it's so big though. Like, would you even be able to tow it using like a
vintage vamp?
Well, not a vintage vamp. Using a classified vamp.
Yeah, I think I have to hope that that's a yes, because that would be kind of lame if we can't tow the towable weapons on the classified stuff. But meaty gun, like quite a meaty toy, I must say.
It's very big. It's gorgeous. They've represented it very well in the classified scale.
This is definitely for the big house collectors. You know, the guys who've got the big homes. Because, or at least in my opinion, if you got a big home, yeah, this is another piece. It's got a huge footprint, man. Like, it's really cool, but that's a huge footprint. Classified are not small.
For sure, but you can pose a lot of figures around that.
Yeah,
like,
you could.
That's kind of like the centerpiece of your shelf.
Controversial though, it was revealed on the live stream that they have swapped laser colors. Thanks to Sci-Fi and now the Hell, GI Joe is coded as blue laser.
I don't know how I feel about that. That's kind of weird. Like, who decided that was something they had to do?
Well, Deke decided it in the 90s because they did the swap initially. But BMAX said, as far as they're concerned, blue is more of a GI Joe coded color.
I agree.
Red belongs to Cobra.
I agree.
Wow.
And he's not wrong, but that is controversial.
Yeah, that is.
My life will go on if they can make the blazers purple for all I care. I'm not gonna let that distort or destroy my reality. Really, really. But I do agree that blue is a good guy color and red is a villain color in terms of laser. Yeah, I do. For me, it makes more sense.
And should the Joe lasers also go zot zot zot?
No, maybe they should go zip zip zip. But maybe that's just because we're in South Africa.
This is coming from a guy who, like, anytime I've ever gotten blast effects anyways, into the draw, my friends. I don't pose my things with any kind of blasts coming off them. No.
So I suppose yes,
that happens in my head.
Yeah. And what color is it in your head, though?
The color of violence.
I don't know what color it is, but I do know the sound it makes when it takes a life. I will forever reference Tropic Thunder. Yeah, I'll be honest. Grand Slam is great, and the Hell is great, and I think there's a lot of people are going to be very excited, but I'm not one of them.
Well, I mean, he's certainly going to sell a lot more once they put him on the retro card.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I'm surprised that wasn't a HasLab. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, listeners. I'm kidding. But good that it's cool that Hasbro's leaning into the towable vehicles or sort of the micro vehicles. But like now, I can't really say that anymore because the Hell is significantly bigger than the Vamp. It seems so.
Yeah, that's a proper macro gun.
Does anyone have an opinion on the re-release of the Flight Pod and color era Snake Eyes?
Listen, that Flight Pod is an incredible toy, and Hasbro should be like printing them like often. In fact, but this red and gray one reminds me of the 25th anniversary release that they did it feels like not 25th anniversary, Pursuit of Cobra. No,
I'm gonna say
just before Pursuit.
15th anniversary.
Yeah, but they did
was
like
like in
a
the-
they did like a whole bunch of these that were never released. They were meant to be released and then they didn't get released. It was for the just before Pursuit of Cobra. It had to do with the rise of Cobra or something.
Okay.
And they did a great. And I remember looking at getting myself a gray trouble bubble, and with the red canopy, and I just decided not to because I wanted the classic look. And this feels like it like harkens back to that, and I don't know. For me, I don't think it's that cool.
Okay, interesting. No, I think it's awesome. I mean, like if you can do different colorways with bats, why not with these kind of smaller vehicles? Kind of go crazy with it. And that Viper looks cool.
And of course, it goes faster because it's in black, right?
Exactly. It does
think the
work.
clever.
Sorry, guys. We were thinking of giving you Night Raven as the HasLab this year, but it's cancelled.
So here, have a flight pod.
Pod in Raven colors instead.
I think Hasbro would be cool if like they released the Flight Pod but with different drivers. So like the first one being with the Televiper is cool, and then maybe doing like a bunch of them that come with like a Viper and then whatever.
Yeah, they should definitely do a flight pod with a Viper next.
Yeah, which is kind of what they've done here, but they've completely recolored it. I'm saying keep it in its classic colors.
Okay.
Shadow Viper. Did they give him a new name? Has he got a new name?
I don't know.
I don't
Stealth
think it's
Viper.
necessary. Stealth
God.
Viper. No, he's just Cobra. Stealth Viper. There we go. The stealth flight pod. Okay, so they are black. So yeah, this really is leaning into the the Cobra Raven kind of idea of it.
And that's Snake Eyes.
It's black and red.
And that's Snake Eyes. Sorry, I'm just looking at it. It reminds me a little bit of Resolute Snake Eyes.
Whoa. So you feel like they
the
really
green
were.
goggles will do that.
Yeah, he really reminds me of Resolute Snake Eyes.
And it's interesting they kind of have standardized that the helmets that the what are they called again? Your Bull
Steel Brigaders.
guys. Yeah, Steel Brigade. That's
Steel
like the
core.
yeah, that is that's your biker helmet. Like when you're gonna drive a vehicle, you're gonna wear that helmet.
I think it's more geared towards not making this a Snake Eyes.
Oh, okay. So you can kind of have multiple of them sitting on your shelf if you want.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can army build this, you can army build the Vamp because Clutch also comes with that as an alternate helmet or alternate head. So yeah, it's designed at like not limiting you to getting one and then being like, oh, if I get another one, I gotta have an extra clutch cluttering up my desk.
Okay,
living
fair
in a
enough.
drawer or whatever. Yeah, no, this is the default position on like army builders within GI Joe.
It's smart.
And I'd be curious, like everyone collects differently, but are people actually building out their steel core, or they're like, nah, it's got to be named characters only? In which case, once again, these heads find their way into a drawer and along with your extra Snake Eyeses.
I feel those people are out there. They're definitely out there.
Well, I like these color schemes on the vehicles. I think this is a nice variation.
That green is cool for the I wanted to say tiger paw for the ferret.
The varmint. It's called a varmint now. Yeah.
Okay.
It's fun.
Cool.
Right. Boys, any more toy talk that we want to do? I wanted to clarify something that that I actually got wrong
Ooh.
on our devilfish focus
Hmm.
because I had you, Paul, suddenly skriking that you didn't have black hose. So recently, Paul, I kind of hauled you over the coals. You were like, but my tigerfish didn't have hoses. Well, 3D Joes have kind of clarified after having numerous boxed tigerfishes opened
Hmm.
and inspected. Turns out the tigerfish didn't come with those hoses. So
Whew.
Wow.
your fish is complete. Happy days.
Yay! Thank you, Steve.
And thanks to Carson for
I
kind
said
of
I
Very
went
cool.
to a
that.
Melbourne toy show today and didn't really have a great time of it. Oh, am I gone again?
No toy show fun?
I'm sorry, man.
This
No,
is infuriating.
no, like,
I think we're gone for him now.
yeah.
Anyone got new toys?
So I might have mentioned this already. Well, I might have mentioned this already, but now that I am resident in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, there are a range of new toy events that populate the calendar. I went to one this weekend and was a little bit disappointed. It wasn't particularly to my, my personal interests. There's a lot of new stuff, a lot of cards and video games and Lego and action figures that, I think I could just get at a toy shop, currently. There's a lot of MOTU stuff that is carded and looking very jazzy, but yeah, it's all current releases. Anyway, wound up finding one old school GI Joe comic book that I didn't currently have, and that's issue 65, which we had covered on Chase Joe, the Splinter podcast of GI Joburg that I'm doing with my buddy Ben.
Guys, we do need to just excuse Steve. He seems to be having some technical connection issues. And so he won't be able to join us for our MOTU chat. He did, however, want us to tell everybody that he loved the MOTU movie.
Yes,
Enjoyed
he
it.
was. I think he specifically said it was fan servicey as it could be for a lapsed He-Man fan. So for
Yeah.
someone who knows, like, like enough,
Yeah.
he absolutely adored it, and he even enjoyed the inclusion of Orko in the one of the
Post-credit
post-credit
scenes.
scenes. Because as we said up front, spoilers for any talk we do for MOTU. Yeah, one of the literally, I think it's right after the credits. Orko comes
literally,
in and does
yeah.
his little like, well, this is the lesson you've learned this week from He-Man cartoon episode.
So, yeah. So, and also, I mean, Rob, you've seen this. I mean, I recently got to catch it last night, which was good times. I was very annoyed that I couldn't watch it on the opening weekend. That
To
was the
see
only
it with
thing.
all the fans, I guess.
Yeah, because it did come out on the same weekend that I had to do Japanese festival, which was amazing. The festival itself was really great. But it did mean that I couldn't go watch MOTU in cinema. And my workload has been like quite intense because of the World Cup and all the sort of preloading for everything that the company I do a lot of work for is doing for the World Cup. So I was actually working into the evening on some things. And so I couldn't go and watch MOTU during the week. In fact, I couldn't even go and check out Backrooms, which is another film I'm dying to watch. But yeah, dude, Celia and I went to go and watch MOTU last night, and wow, I was, and prepare yourselves. Like I know that maybe I don't know. Just spoilers are going to be ahead. I was expecting the film to be fun and entertaining, mostly because Mattel had no choice to make sure that this offering was as good as it could be, considering that the original film, for as much as I like it, is considered a flop and sort of a bit of a brand killer in some respects.
Yeah, well, I mean, if
Um,
you look at it, I mean,
Yeah.
the film is the story of of the original film is very much not He-Man.
Yeah.
It's for the majority of the film, it's not set on Eternia.
Mm-hmm.
It's the focus is very much it's He-Man, but those teens they kind of join him.
That's
It's
right.
the introduction of that kind of weird gnome wizard guy who, as
Gordor.
far as
Yeah.
I know,
It's not
was
in
not in the
continuity. No.
cartoons.
No.
It's very much its own thing where they
Mm.
kind of like reskinned another script and
Yes.
turned that into a He-Man movie.
It's like a fan fiction for a He-Man.
Essentially, it's like someone who doesn't know He-Man kind of decided to make a He-Man movie. And I agree, it's great fun for what it is. And Dolph
Yeah.
Lundgren as He-Man is
Outstanding.
he sells it. He sells it
I
as He-Man.
very much so, man. And yeah, so fast forward, like Mattel knows that they couldn't make this film a bad film. So I definitely went into this theater going, "Hey, this is going to be fun." I wasn't like sitting there like thinking it's going to be bad. I was
Mm.
like, "This is going to be fun," and then I was blown away. Okay, I'm going to preload that up front. I was blown away by this film. It hit me in so many ways, and hit me as a MOTU fan. It hit me as a person. Um, it hit my inner child really hard in a good way. Like,
Beat your
um,
inner child up.
and and also like something that it did that really made me very happy was Celia enjoyed it. Now Celia is
Hmm.
typically not somebody who's into the kind of pop culture geeky stuff that we're into, and her experience with He-Man is very peripheral. Because she's seen me buy the toys, she's seen me get excited about the origin stuff, and although I am a fan of the toys and I enjoy Masters of the Universe, I wouldn't call myself this like major fan. Because
Hmm.
I was joking with her on the drive there. I was like, "Wow, I don't even have like a T-shirt, a He-Man shirt, or He-Man socks, or anything like that typically we would have." Whereas I got GI Joe stuff and I got some Back to the Future stuff and whatever. But I was just like, "Wow, I don't have, like, a cool He-Man shirt to wear to this movie night," so I had to pack
Yeah.
in my miniature He-Man toys, those uh, little
Yes, the ones that you found
Masters
at
of Power
Toys
Masters,
R Us or
whatever.
wherever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
I
think
bought.
of like levels of He-Manery. I think you're
Yes.
definitely the highest level. You do buy toys still.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're still very excited. I think you probably know the most about all three of us. I think I'm probably on level 2.
Level
Um,
2.
I He-Man was my first love when it came to toys and
Okay.
cartoons. Before the age of 5, I had a He-Man cake for my birthday. I
Nice.
had a ton of the toys. They're still in the box somewhere.
Cool.
We watched the videos of it on also probably for that same birthday. So definitely very young. He-Man was a very big thing for me. Since then, not so much. I think occasionally catch an episode of the cartoon. But not like crazy amounts of He-Man. I still
Mm.
appreciate He-Man for what it was. A lot. And I think Steven would be on level 3. We're kind of like he knows He-Man, and that's kind of as far as it goes.
Okay. So
So I think you're the most fervent of the three of us when it comes to He-Mans.
cool. Well, now at least you guys know, like, for our listeners, at least they have a good idea of the flavor that we're gonna come in with, because
Mm,
the fact that this film started with Eternia was really great. I thought that was a clever
yes.
move. It got us into Eternia. It got us enjoying Eternia, which is what the original film did as well. What the
Mm,
old film did as well. But here we got to see Eternia in its greatness. We got to see the characters in their sort of day to day. I want to say like day to day kind of, the villagers are villaging. The kids are training. And it was a cool way to introduce us to Man at Arms. It was a cool way to it gave us a quick like glimpse at some of the relationships that were really sort of starting to form. And one of my favorite things that it did in this, and maybe this is going to sound controversial, maybe not as a He-Man fan, but maybe as a person, as an instructor in martial arts, uh, you are surrounded by young ones, and you're definitely trying to help them get strong and better and make them do their push-ups and all that stuff. And when when Man at Arms asked that kid, like, what is this? And the kid turns around, he's like, it's a stick. And then he grabs a stick and he like bonks this kid on the head a bit. Like, I was like, yeah, I get that. Like, don't be a smartass, kind of thing. And I appreciated that. And I liked that the film didn't like try to dress that up differently. It kind of made it seem like, hey, you know what? This is how we train in Eternia.
Yeah, they took it seriously. Like this is
Yes.
an important position you will have if you do become a man at arms.
Yeah.
Um, you take this seriously. You're protecting the royal family. You're protecting Eternia against whatever comes at it. Yeah, I thought that sequence was very good. It kind of set up um, who Duncan is as a person,
Yeah.
and what a grievous blow it is when he kind of does come up against the force that he isn't able to overcome in Lockjaw.
Yeah, and Trapjaw.
Trapjaw.
So, and that was a cool thing because what they introduced with Man at Arms is they introduced arrogance. Okay.
Mm,
So, like, this movie deals with power in different forms. So, Man at Arms, his power comes from his confidence, but he's overconfident. So that's
mm,
how power has sort of corrupted Man at Arms. He's not, he's powerful, but now he's arrogant. He's too sure of himself.
yeah,
And he's also not afraid to say how sure of himself he is. But he still has this level of, but he's still a good instructor, still a good
yeah.
warrior.
There's competence there for sure, but he is
Definitely.
confident.
Exactly. And that is great because that shows that gets flipped on him when he fights Trapjaw, does get his ass handed to him. Um, you know, like to the point where, it was almost a bit of he did it almost as a bit of a suicide play. And then, Tila comes and, sort of gets him out of there like a little
Mm,
bit. And then he's like, oh crap. And then his instinct to protect his daughter kicks in. And then he, saves Tila. And then, they do the whole, they get away. But it was cool that this film shows different elements of power and how different people in that universe have handled power.
yeah.
And so, like He-Man's father, I know I'm like jumping because I'm not going through this chronologically. I'm just sort of going through this in pieces. King Randor, his misuse of power is not using is he's very powerful, and he's got a very strong need to protect his son. But instead of, communicating, that's where he lost that power. His power is
Mm,
very much a physical presence thing. And yes, he had a wisdom, but his real power would have come from speaking to his son,
yeah.
and
Communicating with him better.
exactly. And like, so I thought a lot of that stuff was just done so cleverly, and
Mm,
so dynamically in the film. And and then also when we kick into Prince Adam, who I've I saw one criticism sort of on the corner of my eye because I've been doing my absolute best to avoid any kind of conversation. I see something on Facebook or whatever, and I scroll past it. I see something on Instagram, I like scroll past it. But sometimes my brain just picks up like a random phrase, and somebody was like, "This film is like too Prince Adam-y," and I was like, and that sort of stuck in my brain a little bit.
mm.
I couldn't get rid of that. But when I watched the film, I was like, no, I really enjoyed the Prince Adam sequences. Actually,
Yeah,
it
there's a good. I mean, he is He-Man. He's the main
yeah,
character, so of course you're going to see every aspect of who he is, and they do build on that. There is a
mm,
reason why the way he is the way he is, but there is more to him than his kind of his bumbling attitude.
yeah.
He's a very good person at his core.
See, what I love about what I thought was very clever in this film versus the original animation series is that Prince Adam is bumbling around because that's part of his let's call it disguise, should I
Yeah,
say.
it's part of the act. It's kind of like Clark Kent and Superman. Like
Exactly.
Superman is on purpose acting silly.
Like yeah,
He is. I mean, yes, that is part of who he is. He's a good person, but he's not that kind of like bumbling good person.
yeah,
He's putting that on. While in this movie, that is a core to him.
yeah.
He really is just that dopey.
And guess what? A lot of us are too. And that's the thing. Like, I found him to be very relatable in a lot of
Yeah,
ways.
no, 100%.
Because we're all trying to, like, all of us are trying to be good people. We're trying to do cool stuff. We're always, like, and like, okay, lucky for Prince Adam, you know, he's a really good looking dude. He's got a great physique, everything, you know. But then his obsession with Eternia and getting back home, and his sort of, how should I say, unwillingness to accept that he's being a real crazy person
Mm,
about it. is a thing. And hey, here's the thing: we have had a podcast for the last 14 years talking about GI Job and things that excite us, and we talk to people about things that excite us. And I'm sure we also sound like, crazy people sometimes to people who maybe not into GI Joe, into toys or whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really a relatable thing with Prince Adam, and they, but still they showed his strength, his persistence as a person. They wrote him as a really great human character, as opposed to just making him the disguise for He-Man.
Yeah, and I think the way that they kind of handled like aging him up was a good way of doing it. Like the inciting event is him, is the attack of Skeletor.
Yes.
And him having to be sent away, so that he is in a way a fish out of water when he does come back to Eternia.
Yes.
Eternia. He is from there, but then he kind of has to endure these years of exile.
Yeah.
But as you said, that also shows his character. He holds on to his resolve. He knows he's from Eternia. He just has to get there again. He has to prove that this is true. He's only here for a certain period of time, and he never let that exile kind of
Sour
dull
him.
his to sour him. He knew that this is what he had to do with his life, and I think that's what makes him so strong beyond whatever dopiness he does kind of.
Well, totally, and
show.
also, and as a human being, the career path he went into was like HR, right?
So, human resources, which I think is
helping people communicate.
Yeah, and that's a core to him. He wants to help other people, and that I think is a very it's not like a world-changing way of helping people, but I think in a lot of ways, human resources can be very helpful to people on an individual level. If done correctly.
Exactly.
Like he wants to help people in the only way he knows he can, and talking is very important to him, and that's probably a superpower for him as well. I mean, it does. By the end of the movie, there are funny scenes where it's like, "Can't we just talk this out?" But like he believes in that. He believes that the show of power is only necessary when it is
fails.
absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
And I think that's also something that Duncan kind of, he believes in protecting family.
Yes.
But Duncan's perspective is force is not always necessary, but when it comes down to force, you have to be forceful.
Yeah.
And I think that feeds into, that's a variation of what Adam believes.
Yes. So exactly that, and it's cool that Prince Adam's character, even when he was a child, he was like, "Can we talk about this first?" And they do this very clever thing in the scene. It's a very clever moment in that scene where Randall looks at Prince Adam and Tila sparring, and he's like Prince Adam's making all these jokes, but then he actually manages to knock Tila's weapon out of her hands.
Yeah.
And it's like such a whatever moment. And Randall and Man at Arms kind of both look at this kind of thinking like, oh, he's goofing around. But actually, it's very cool, like film way of telling you, actually, no, he knows how to disarm people with his natural weapon, which is his ability to talk. And so I thought that was great. I think that exploring that as his weapon is great. I feel like we have to speak about one or two of the Easter eggs. And because there were plenty, and there's one I want to highlight in particular for no reason other than I've got a strong kind of connection to it. When he gets the some of the jokes in that are so, I love the humor in that, but anyway, I'm gonna get to that. When he has to go and get his sword of power from that comic store, and there's a poster in the background. Now, this is a blink or you miss it moment, guys, as well. I immediately saw it because I have this poster. It's a poster from Ocarina of Time from Zelda. It's a poster that came out of they created a guide for that game. And they put two posters in that. And I used to have that one poster on my wall for literal years. At my folks' place when I was young, when when Ocarina of Time came out. So it was cool to see that poster in the background, which made the world feel a little bit more real to me, because it was like, wow, there's an actual video game reference. But it was a nice reference because Zelda also deals with a sword of power, the Master Sword, which is quite cool. And so I like those little narrative things. I also enjoyed. There's a moment where there's a big Jim figurine. In fact, you see quite a few big Jim figures in that shot, that get moved out of the way and whatever. And Robert, I don't know if you're aware of this, but one of the significance of that is that Big Jim was very much like GI Joe in that it was a 12-inch figure,
Okay.
but he would go on adventures and stuff. But Battle Cat, the Battle Cat toy or Cringer, is actually from Big Jim. So in
Oh,
Big Jim, it's a
interesting.
normal sized tiger, whereas painted in green and yellow, it's Battle Cat. It's a big tiger for the He-Man toys. So
Okay,
they
I
just
never
had to,
knew that actually.
yeah. So like those little Easter eggs were really clever. I loved the what is it, Four Non-Blondes or whatever it is, music playing in the cop car when he's arrested.
Yes, yeah.
So the meme,
Yeah,
you
I have the
know,
power. Yeah.
yeah. I love that. No, not just the "I Have the Power," it's the, there's a song, the "Hey,
You wake in
yeah,
the morning and I
yeah,
get
yeah."
outside and
Yes.
do it.
So
Yes.
they're
Oh,
playing that
that
in the
did
cop.
play in there.
Yes, they're playing that
Okay.
in the cop car. Like, I thought those references were so cool because, as Steve, mentioned that it was like a really great thing for like somebody who's a He-Man on the fringes of He-Man fandom or whatever.
Yeah. Like
Um,
that's something that someone would have seen. And I
yes,
feel the film overall is a good introduction to people who maybe don't know anything. It's for the younger generation of people who didn't grow up with He-Man. So
yes.
people going to see this movie, you get a very good introduction into who he is going forward.
And a really great, I think, for me, quite cohesive introduction as well, because He-Man's also kind of complicated in some ways because the cartoon and then the mini comics are quite different from each other as
Yeah,
well.
there's a
So
very different tone, I think, as well.
what I also thought was clever about this film, and it's coming back to the Easter eggs now, was I thought it was clever how, like you said now, it's a great introduction for somebody who's not a He-Man fan, like a younger generation.
Mm,
It's a good it's got relatable features for people who only know He-Man through memes,
yeah.
which was quite smart as well. The Fisto joke, I
Hmm.
fisted them and whatever, because
Yeah,
people
they
have seen
played a
that.
lot with that.
Yes.
Like the kind of sexual innuendo of the names of the characters because it's so easy to pick that up as an adult. It's
But
like
also a popular meme. But it's a popular meme because that comic book didn't have Fisto saying, "I fisted him good." There was somebody else who, like, redressed it and made it funny,
yeah.
but it's become a meme, and there's people who know about He-Man only because of that meme,
Yeah.
you
And
know?
I think in other things like Toy Fair as well, they played around with like Ram Man.
Yes.
Ram Man, Ram him,
Yeah. One of my favorite lines in this film is like, "Give him head, man." And then they're like, "Wait." Um, I also like, and then of course, I feel just as somebody who enjoys Masters of the Universe the way I do, I feel like a lot of the elements were brought together nicely. Like, this is a good way to represent He-Man. It's like the cartoon on steroids, but it's
Yeah.
also something else. And I will say this flat out. There are two versions of how I picture He-Man in my head. They're quite distinct. The one is what this movie was, which is,
Mm.
for me, really impressive. Because I'm not saying I have this amazingly out there conceptual mind, nothing like that. It's just this film just really spoke to me because a lot of what was happening with this film visually, tonally, in the story just resonated with how I have understood He-Man and grown up with He-Man.
Yeah, no, I recognized everything, and I think visually it does it communicates what the cartoon was, but
Mhm.
also updated for live action,
Yes.
like very well. And the designs of the characters as well, I
Thank
think
you. Yeah.
was so good across the board, like so well done.
So, yeah, so that other side of how I see He-Man in my head is also very dark and
Mm,
gothic and, like, sort of horror fantasy. And I'm not gonna go into that here, but I'm just, like, so that the two things are very different. So
mm,
I would never expect the films to ever be in that direction. But, yeah, there was stuff in this that, like, just really and added actually to how I want to see He-Man going forward, which is really good.
yeah,
But now you mentioned the costumes, and how cool that this film, and, like, we were all there when they announced the X-Men, and there were a lot of us on the internet, and a lot of people on the internet at the time was like, "Where's the yellow spandex?" Etc., etc. And I think Bryan Singer and the team did a good job back then actually going with the uniformed look for the X-Men and using the leather look and all that. I think that was a smart play to do. It made them more serious and more approachable and cohesive for
mm,
screen, for non-comic readers. I also don't personally think they would have pulled off yellow spandex that well on screen.
Yeah, especially
Um,
back then, I think.
especially
And they've
back
done it
then.
once or twice. I mean, like even the look of Wolverine and Wolverine and Deadpool was kind of, it
Yes,
still doesn't look right to me. That yellow and blue, it doesn't look right.
it
Right, actually.
doesn't, but well, I wouldn't say it doesn't, but I know what you're talking about. It's there,
Yeah,
but there's something.
it looks good, but it's like this. Why would a man make that choice to
Yes,
dress up in yellow and blue?
exactly. And so within the confines of that film, it works really well.
Mm.
So what I thought was clever, and this was also one of my reactions when I saw the trailer. I was like, wow, they've redesigned the character stuff, but it's bringing a lot of it's a lot in a big way. It's a throwback to the toys.
Mm.
And I appreciated that, but I could see, okay, they pushed Tila in this direction and they pushed this in that direction. I was like, okay, fine, interesting. But then only for them to then later on actually go in that direction, like
Yeah,
full
they
on.
acted. Yeah, especially after the whole story is resolved and the final scene, you actually get them in their actual toy outfits, and it was
Which
kind of
is so
jarring to
good.
see Tila. Like it was
Yes.
jarring, but it was good. I was like, okay, she's actually in her outfit now. Actually,
Yeah,
I kind of
because
like that.
right, and that kind of thing, somebody would use a term problematic or whatever's for those outfits or whatever's for those,
Mm,
but I'm so there for it, dude. Like, I
yeah,
think normally also the first person to be like, "Ooh, wait, no, the toys
you're
can't
showing a little too
translate to
much.
film."
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because I think it'll look like crazy. And there's one
Mm.
character in particular I do want to speak about, with regards that. Also, if anybody knows me well enough, you know that I'm enforcing a lot of restraint, not talking about Evil Lynn, which I've been doing, and I'm going to hold on to that for a little bit. Um, there's something that's very important in this film that I want to mention because we don't have too much time. I don't want to capitalize on everybody's
I
afternoon
know for
too
sure. We don't
heavily.
want to make this 3 hours long.
Yeah, we want to keep it in the 2-hour range as much as possible, just under. But okay, so the the one thing that this not the one thing, another thing that this film does that I really loved is the whole uh expectation thing. A lot of us, we grow up, and we grow up from being like kids into to men, into adults. I think He-Man does have a strong masculine slant to it, so I think I can actually speak to it from this point of view as well.
Mm,
And as guys, we don't often, like, your relationship with your dad is an interesting thing, you know. And this film kind of touched on that in such a smart way, I thought, because you really, um, you do start of thinking maybe Randall's a bit of an asshole. I don't
mm,
want to say an asshole. He's just like, wow. It's like you're not seeing him. You're not seeing your son.
yeah.
You know. And there's this moment as well that you learn that I don't know that resonated with me where Duncan is telling Prince Adam to stand up on his own 2 feet, and he's like, just remember, when you get knocked down, be sure to stand up on your feet. And he's got that whole thing about, your father's going to turn around, he's going to see you, and he's going to see a man, he's going to see a young man, or whatever. And like that's really cool because that's from Duncan is also really sensitive in a lot of ways. And it's also good instructing because that is an important thing. Get on your feet. But the lesson that's actually there is that you're gonna get on your feet so many times in your life. You're gonna get knocked down so many times in your life, and nobody's really always going to see when you get up on your feet. And you're the one who has to actually get that power for yourself from that moment.
Mm,
Your father seeing you do that is it's going to be nice because somebody saw it, but that's not what's important. And so there was like a bit of that lesson as well in this film, at least that I extrapolated from it, that I picked up, that I really liked. And later on, that payoff is so beautiful, you know, because the dad actually, Randall actually goes, it's just like, well, you were so small, and I'm just trying to protect you. And I didn't, I wanted you to be who you are, you know, and that was so cool, you know. There was none of
yeah.
this like the dad going, "Oh, I'm sorry, He-Man, I like meant to raise you this way," and whatever. It's just like things got lost in translation. And yes, that is what's going to happen when you don't have that time with your dad. That's what's going to happen when there's a 15-year split between you guys seeing each other. And how many of us have grown up with this wrong or this misunderstanding, perhaps, of what maybe our dads wanted to be? And how many of us, our dads, maybe are seeing our sons grow up, maybe having a misunderstanding, maybe a misunderstanding what we're trying to teach them.
Yeah,
So,
I think Randall represents a certain type of man.
yes,
And I think there are a lot of archetypes for men in this movie. And he's
yes,
just that type of guy, unfortunately, who he didn't feel the need to talk about this stuff. He
yes.
knew a certain direction he wanted to how he wanted to raise his son.
Mm,
And he thought that was the right way of doing it. And in his final moments, he kind of realized he never got that chance to kind of express what he really felt towards his son and how he was trying to raise him.
mm.
And it's great that he did get that chance to kind of say that to Adam in his final moments, like, this is the way I was, and this is what I hoped for you. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you didn't um you didn't interpret what I was doing in the
Yeah, I
way that
didn't
I
communicate that.
I had
Yeah,
hoped
that
it
didn't
was
come.
coming across.
Yeah.
But we've talked about all these guys, and I
Yes.
think probably one of the biggest surprises, or one of the biggest things that I thought was incredible with this movie, was Skeletor.
Yes. Thank you.
Skeletor as played, and you would not realize this watching the movie, by Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Like, he completely melted away into that role. Like,
Yes.
even more so than like Joker. I mean, Joker, because it's still him,
Yeah.
but you can see the makeup. But he completely lost himself in it, and I think his version of Skeletor is strong. It's a
Yeah.
very good version, and it does pull from the cartoon. You
Yes.
know, and the way that they represented him is incredible, because he says he's a villain and he says he's evil. And I mean, I suppose, and certain motivations of what he does, I can certainly see like the evil side of it, but he still keeps Adam's like father and mother alive for all those years,
Yeah.
like he keeps them alive. And I mean, and through the runtime of the movie, I think he only really murders one person, doesn't he? Mossman, I
Yeah.
think. Like,
Yeah.
literally, that's the only person that he actually physically murders. Like, you actually see him being like a killer person. While for the rest of it, he's just very maniacal. But yeah, I felt Skeletor was absolutely amazing.
So
Just
I gotta agree with you. I also want to mention that apparently Jared Leto didn't like his performance as Skeletor.
oh
So
wow,
I think if Jared Leto could dislike more of his performances, that would be better for all of us as audiences. Throwing that out there,
yeah, but
because I thought his performance was strong as well.
yeah, but I think that's an actor thing. I think how a performer acts versus what is perceived by the audience, there can often be a disconnect.
Oh, definitely.
And sometimes what the audience perceives as being a fantastic performance, the actor themselves maybe didn't have a good night with it.
That is true, but remember, this is also the man who thinks he's God's gift to acting and has not stopped at rubbing certain characters into our faces as audiences who
Mm.
he maybe didn't actually do too well with. So there's also that.
Yeah,
But
but
God, he's the
he,
worst
yeah,
Voltron.
completely
Sorry to say.
unrecognizable, and I really appreciate it. And the way
Yeah.
they did I mean, the special effects overall in this movie, I think, are fantastic.
Mm,
But whatever they did to make his face is so good, because
mm,
there's you can actually see the movement you can see the lips.
mm.
You can't see them, but the way that
Yes.
the skull shapes and moves, you can actually see the words forming, which
Yeah.
I found really impressive. That kind of like movement to it.
Yeah, Skeletor is such a cool character. You guys all know I love Skeletor. I love seeing Skeletor in different spaces. I think movie Skeletor, also again, the cool lesson behind movie Skeletor that I really appreciated is exactly when you want all the attention for how great you are. And that's
Mm.
arrogance turned evil. That's
Yeah,
ego.
he is
Yeah.
as you were mentioning, that's another way of perceiving power. Like, they
Power.
are showing you different ways of power in this movie.
Mm.
And yeah, kind of like his motivation. It's like he doesn't, he wants to be powerful so that people can't take his power away from him,
Yes.
essentially. Like, he speaks with evil, and she's like, but you're ruling everything, like you're in charge. He's like, yes, I'm just king though. That can
Yeah,
still be taken away from me. I don't want
exactly.
to lose this grip that I have on this power that I have. And I need
Exactly.
to be more than what I am. If I'm a god, no one can stop me.
And that's because he's empty as a person. He doesn't
Yeah.
know who he is. I mean, I don't want to like throw out too many spoilers because I don't want to assume what the film's going to do because there are
Mm,
different ways of approaching Skeletor slash Keldor.
yeah.
But for now, just while we're having this conversation, yes, he is a person who I think has made his whole life about being better than everybody else, that he
Mm.
didn't actually look to himself to see what was actually better. And yeah, but he is an evil dude, make no mistake. I
Oh no,
mean, with Pig
absolutely. I
Boy,
mean,
it's so bad what he says to Pig Boy. He's like, "Don't drop my stuff," you know. Your mother did, and I turned it into sausage meat. I mean, that was terrible,
yeah.
hilarious. Fun Easter egg for you there, by the way, Rob. I don't know if you know.
Mm.
In the original film, there was a competition that they held, and if you winning that competition meant that you got to be an extra in the He-Man film,
Oh
but not
wow.
just an extra. You were like sort of a bit part kind of character,
Okay.
and some young boy won it, and then he was Pig Boy, and he was actually in a scene. Then they
Mm.
took his scenes out of the film, but there are one or two instances where you just sort of see him in the background.
Okay.
Now, I can't confirm this. I have a feeling it is actually still the same kid they got to be Pig Boy now on screen for this movie.
Wow,
I
that would
think.
be
I
really
can't
great.
confirm. I need to actually go and Google this. But it was cool that they made reference to him and actually gave that character more screen time, which
Yeah.
was quite clever. Like little references like that kind of stuff is smart. It once again speaks to a film that knows its audience, knows the history, understands what it does, what He-Man actually is,
Yeah.
and what it can be.
No, absolutely. I think it
Yeah.
it it, it definitely feels like it respects fans.
Also love that not just that both Skeletor and He-Man use Pig Boy as a weapon in different ways.
Oh yes,
Like,
that's right.
yeah. Also, another like little nod is I can't remember the name of this character now. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
But he's the white-haired kind of character in the original MOTU film. He's one of the bounty hunters that Evil Lyn
Okay.
brings to. He's in this film as well. He-Man
Oh
pegs him to
cool.
the wall. Yeah.
Oh yes, yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, yeah.
Cool. Like cool that he's in this film. Like
Yeah.
also again kind of connecting, kind of going, hey, you know what? There's this character you like, which means maybe we might see the other guys as well in future iterations of this film,
Yeah.
of these movies. But yeah, Rob, I I just have to say one last little thing now because I feel like we've spoken too much and I need to hand
No,
the
for
mic
sure.
to you
I
a little
think
bit.
that I have two more things I want to talk about, and then I think I'll be done too.
I loved Evil Lyn.
Yes.
I was initially when she spoke, I was a little jarred by it. I will be honest, but
Mm-hmm.
then I understood why she was directed and why she performed the role that way. Why I understood why Evil Lyn was that way because she's playing everybody,
Mm.
which is great.
Yeah.
And her, yeah, she's great. I also love the fact that she's got the hots for He-Man, which is spot on. But I dig her so much. When she's on screen, her charisma does eat up a lot of screen for me, in a
Yeah.
big
No,
way.
she's wonderful. And
Yeah.
also, like, she also, there's the balance of she kind of, you see the cruelty of Skeletor to her.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of takes that on, but she still has use for him in a way. It's almost like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she is playing him, she is using him. But she is also very early on in the movie the vector for the introduction of the use of humor in the movie.
Yes.
So it's not, thankfully, it's not the level of Marvel. It's not Marvel constant quips and stuff that take you out of the movie.
Yeah.
Somehow the way that they handle humor in this, it feels true to the cartoon, but it somehow does work in the context of the movie as well. Because
Mm.
even just the names of all the characters, it's
Mm.
like he doesn't. Those aren't the names of the characters. You
Nope.
know, he is not Fisto. He is not Ram Man. That is
Yeah.
just Child Prince Adam coming up with names for these characters because he himself didn't know, he couldn't remember their names or didn't know their names. And that is why certain aspects of the movie are the way they are, like why they have these weird names. And still, probably one of my favorite ones of those jokes was like, okay, so you had names for all these people. What was your name? Like, what did you call yourself? Call myself He-Man. Isn't that a little redundant? I mean, that's like a little too
Yeah.
much. Like He-Man, like
Yeah. That it was clever, man. Like
yeah,
it
it
was
was
cute.
fun how they introduced the names of the characters. I thought there was a nice running gag throughout the whole movie.
A nice
But
meta thing as well.
yeah. And
Mm.
also, I mean, we can't not talk about it. I mean, Dolph Lundgren is in the movie.
Thank you.
He is in there. And it's not just a cameo, because what he says to Adam in the scene that he's in, he's kind of like in a gym, is the core that actually helps Adam turn the tide at the end of the movie. He's been stripped of the power sword. He thinks he doesn't have the power, and it is remembering what Dolph Lundgren told him that actually helps him turn the tide for the rest of the movie. And I think that's a great way of handling cameo, is making that appearance of this legacy character, or version of the character, a core to the entire movie. It's not just a throwaway, like, oh look, there's Dolph Lundgren, he's serving hot dogs at a hot dog stand or something.
Yeah.
No, he is, and it's respectful. He's a powerful man in his own right, the character that he plays.
Mm-hmm.
And he has this message that he passes along to Adam, back yourself,
Yeah.
don't get in front of yourself, back yourself, and
Yeah.
you can achieve anything.
And that's
paraphrasing.
And I yeah, no, but you nailed it for the most part. Just get behind yourself is literally the only difference there. Beautiful thing. And I can't believe that it is a bit of foreshadowing there. You do sort of feel like it's going to play a bigger role.
Yeah.
But when they hit that, that's what you're doing as an audience the whole time. You're going, come on, Adam, like, back yourself, like, get behind yourself, believe in what you're doing as well, believe in, and you've been believing in it for so long, and now that you're here, you have to believe in yourself. So
yeah, you actually have to do that.
But
It's not
fantastic.
just belief, but putting that into action.
Yeah, like, dude, just such a cool way to do that cameo, as you said. And
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it was
so,
wonderful. So, but before
yeah.
we go there, I have to mention
Yeah.
one thing that I didn't like. This is
Okay.
probably the only thing in the entire movie that I didn't like.
Okay.
So they used the song "Princess of the Universe" by
Yes.
Queen.
Yes.
And my issue with this is that song, for me, and I think for a lot of people who grew up in the 80s and the 90s and have watched other franchises, is indelibly and forever associated with Highlander. Because that is a core song to the Highlander franchise. It comes back not only in the first movie, I think they used it basically in almost all of the movies, and in the TV show. It was the theme song for the Highlander TV show.
Yeah.
And I felt that was a bit of a misuse of the song, because it's Princes of the Universe versus Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
And for me, at least, that took me out of it. I was like, I love the song, but it's in the wrong franchise.
Okay.
I mean, otherwise the music was fantastic in the entire movie, but for me personally, I was like, this is it's the wrong movie for it.
They did make a Highlander reference in the film, though, as well.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Yeah. There's
Okay,
a Highlander
I need to
reference
watch
in
it
the film.
again. Okay.
Yeah.
But
So
still, for me at least, that's the only thing. Like, I really enjoyed this movie overall. Like, a fantastic experience. But that one sequence where they used that song, I was like,
So, that's actually interesting, because I must say that didn't hit me that way.
okay.
It's only hitting me now that you're mentioning it to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could be. I mean,
yeah.
I was a very big Highlander fan. I enjoyed all those movies. I would religiously watch that TV show.
Yeah, the TV
every
series
week
was
when
cool.
it came out with Duncan MacLeod. Or was it Connor MacLeod? I always get them mixed up.
I think it was Duncan. Yeah.
But yeah, like the instant it came on, I was like, it's wrong for this movie. That was my only thing that kind of drew me out. As kind of like a fan of Highlander and of He-Man. I was like, this is in the wrong movie.
So, is it bad when I say that my only criticism for this film was that I wished Skeletor's shoulder pads were a bit longer? I really like, I don't know what it is, and it's like, it's been made worse by when I see the toy of him. I just feel like his shoulder, the pauldrons, should be longer to, like,
Okay.
cinch off the character a bit. And also, like, I 100% love everything in this movie. Like, and it's rare for me to actually get like that about a film. I'm sure
Yeah.
maybe time will chip at it a little bit. It's possible. That tends to sometimes happen. Sometimes time makes it even better for me. But Skeletor, the only actual problem I actually have with that film, ironically, is actually Skeletor's design. That is not the film's fault. That is my fault. I love Skeletor as a design. That his image has stuck with me throughout my whole life. It made a huge impact on me when I first saw him when I was a child. I've always, like I've said earlier when we were talking about this, I have this dark gothic, fantasy horror version of what He-Man's world looks like, and then I've got, where the cool stuff, which is what this film lines up with, like the anime. And I just feel like Skeletor needs to lean more into that dark gothic side of things a little bit sometimes. Because I always thought the original film Skeletor was terrifying in a lot of ways.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that version is scary.
Frank Langella, my God, that man. Anyway, so this one just feels a little bit safer for consumption. But it's okay because it's like 70% good for me, and that's actually good enough.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
literally.
I enjoyed it so much. Like it really did feel like a callback to the cartoons. It felt like a callback to 90s movies, just the way that they handle action and humor and the story overall. It was a win for me.
Yeah. So happy I saw it in cinema. So happy I could support that film. So yeah.
And
Cool.
you know what? I'm happy we are supported by our fantastic Berg Force.
Yes.
Whether on YouTube or on Patreon, you guys help to keep us going. Definitely I've enjoyed a couple of coffees thanks to you guys.
Yes.
And it helps keep the lights on. We always say this, but we do appreciate everyone who does donate a little bit to us. And everyone who watches, likes, subscribes, comments, and even sends us emails every now and then. arealsouthafricanhero@gmail.com. All the details, down in the doobly-doos and all that stuff.
At the bottom there, in the comment section, in the chats, or if you're on Podbean, it's there as well. But just to echo what Rob said, thank you very much, guys. Your support is much appreciated. It's always felt, and it just we love doing this, and we love that you love that we do this.
Yeah,
so thank you.
I mean, we would do this regardless because we just love chatting with each other, but we just love sharing our conversations with others, and that you guys enjoy.
Well, we get to have a chat with you guys as well because you guys comment and stuff. So
Yeah, no, exactly. There's a nice feedback loop there that I quite appreciate, and it keeps our passion going forever.
Forever.
Like this episode, it's going on forever.
Going on forever. But yeah, guys, we hope that I hope that you enjoyed MOTU as much as I did.
For sure. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. If you got to this point and all of the spoilers and everything that we said didn't bug you and it intrigued you to watch the film, by all means go for it. We want to remind you, none of us are sponsored by Mattel or the Amazon or any of those people selling this film. I think we're just really excited about it. Well, we really enjoyed it, and thank you. It's so nice to have a huge win this year for film. I enjoyed Mortal Kombat, but I really loved Masters of the Universe. With that said, guys, it's time to bail. So, Rob, until the next time, my dude, kick all the butt.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
To everybody out there, thank you for listening, and have a rad day, week, whatever you're doing, and we'll see you on the next one.
Heck yeah.
Yo.
Joe.
Oh. Burn.